What's up, friend? Another spicy topic for today. After the infamous mapping incident, the NA Siege scene fires up again with some more controversy. Now, I want to preface something here. As a new player that is completely outside of the North America scene, I will simply briefly give my take on the situation, but won't get too involved in it, as I think NA politics are for the NA player base, as I will never have the same perspective that they have by not playing on their server. With this said, let's shit talk some people, shall we? First of all, I'll explain what's happening. If you aren't aware, a couple of months ago we got a new siege mechanic where everyone participating would receive extra 5k HP. If you were to win the siege, your bonus HP would decrease of 500 every week, so that the defending guilds would be easier to attack. If you were to lose the castle, your bonus HP would go up of 500 each week that you are not holding a region. So not Ista reset to 5k. I don't want to talk too much about this change because that's another can of worms that I'd rather not open in this video. Some people love it, some people hate it. So what is that triggered quite a few people? Snake, one of the strongest, if not the strongest guild in NA, who was sitting on Medea for quite some time and had no bonus HP, didn't show up after 3 guilds attacked them. Then they all left the guild to then hop to another guild to pretty much siege again with a full HP bonus without having to wait 10 weeks to reset it. And here the shit starts flinging. Quite a few people calling Snake exploiters. Lots of players seems to be upset by this move. And in general, this has been quite a polarizing argument in the video scene lately. Do I personally think this is an exploit? It is definitely not something Perlabies want, but I wouldn't go as far as calling this an exploit. Let's be real, half of the game mechanics are an exploit at this point. Do I think this is a big deal? Well, I haven't been invested in Siege in a long time, so I don't think my opinion in the matter is very relevant anyway. But to me, it just looks like another one of those weird workarounds you gotta do in video. I didn't think leaving your guild after winning a castle to the siege was an exploit, so by that logic I also don't think that this is a big deal. But then again, both of these things never really affected the EU that much, while it seems that NA had a much bigger problem with it. So I think all the people accusing Snake of exploiting are kinda blowing things out of proportion. I don't know if Snake is a hated guild on NA, but I am certain that if a guild would do this on you, no one would bat an eye. Well, probably no one would notice. Dead scene, am I right? But let's talk about a more important matter that this discussion brought up. A few streamers said something that is definitely worth discussing. Is Kakao punishing people fairly? Are they doing it only if the community is outraged enough? Has there been consistency with what they say and what is an exploit in this game, where pretty much everything can be considered a grey area? The mapping incident has definitely been handled very poorly by Kakao. Even though they were aware of the situation from the beginning, it took them forever to actually make a public announcement saying that yes, it is indeed an exploit and something that you shouldn't be doing. They even admitted themselves that they did a pretty bad job at responding to this. This time they were a bit faster. Even if they still didn't make a public announcement, this is what they wrote in the partner Discord, pretty much right after it was brought up by the players. After checking internally, I can share that whilst we feel that switching guilds to negate the HP reduction is not following the intended vision for Siege Warfare, we cannot consider it an exploit or violation of the TOU. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. The developer is aware of the situation in case they want to consider changes to the game mechanics. This kinda settles the argument if it's an exploit or not. It's definitely something that Perlabies doesn't like, but it doesn't mean that it's bannable or an exploit. They will probably make changes to the game to prevent this from happening in the future, but this is definitely not ban-worthy. But let's go back to the consistency argument. My memory kinda sucks ass, so if anyone actually remembers more stuff than me, please do type an angry message in the comments here. But so far, I only recall Kakao banning people for exploiting the game in a way that would affect the market, such as the good old Valencia digging exploit or the 2 workers on 1 node thing. I'm sure there has been some other market-related thing that happened, and maybe they just weren't popular enough for Kakao to either notice or care, which I guess is the biggest problem here. Do we really just need the community to make a fuss to actually get people banned? When it comes to other type of exploits, such as the infamous and game-breaking mouse movement on horse, or leaving your guild to nowhere if you want a castle, well, they can't just fix it in-game and call it a day. So there is definitely some consistency in the way they handle things, even if admittedly, so many game mechanics in this game are in such a grey area that you never know if what you're doing is intended or not. But the biggest problem seems to be, does Kakao care or do they care only if the community cares? Has there been an instance where they permaban people for anything that wasn't economy related? If anyone knows, do let me know. And please don't be too upset about my personal opinion, but if it makes you feel better, do leave an angry comment below and let it all out, baby. You know what's coming. I now have a stream schedule. Monday, Wednesday and Friday from 2 PM to 7 PM EU time. See you there or here next Wednesday. But until then, kisses.